All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. All right, so it looks like crypto's crashing a little bit, but I think we will see a rebound here soon. And I think this is going to be the rebound where it kind of just locks people out of these low prices. So from what I can remember from the 2020 bull run, going into 2021, so it was really the 2021 bull run, was that there was a certain point, I think it was like August or September, where altcoins just doubled, two to three x across the board, and things that were worth like $2 were now $6, right? So if you were hesitant to buy at $2, when it doubled or tripled to six or nine, you definitely weren't going to buy at that point, and that's kind of what happens, and kind of what the market makers do. Because I honestly think the liquidity is already there. Most people think that, oh, we got to wait for interest rate cuts so liquidity can come into the market. I don't think it's like that. I think whoever's gonna buy and pump the prices up for altcoin season they already have their money out there, right? It's either in stable coins or it's in cash. They're just waiting for the right moment to pump prices up. Before I continue, let me go ahead and check my mic. Give me a sec. Give me just a sec. Let me check my mic. It's either in stable coins or it's in cash. They're just waiting for the right moment to pump prices up. Before I continue, let me go ahead and check my mic. Give me All right. A sec. It looks like my mic is working. Okay, yeah. So for me, I honestly think, again, the liquidity is already there for these altcoins to pump. We kind of saw it in Ethereum, right? Ethereum was sitting at 2,500, 2,600, and all of a sudden it jumped to 3,600. So, and it's not, you don't need a certain, like, most people would think, like, okay, for let's say Ethereum's at a $200 billion market cap, most people think you need a $200 billion worth of cash to double the price, and it doesn't work like that, right? It depends on how much money or how much coins are on exchanges opposed to in cold storage, or how many coins are being traded at the at this specific time that actually determines the price. So you really need actually a smaller amount of liquidity to move these prices, and they can move at any moment, right? And typically, towards the end of the year that we go parabolic, it's towards that end of the year, that August to December timeframe. Now, we did have it in certain years where it was back in January to April. But there were a year or two, I believe it was last cycle, where AVAX went from, like, I think it was like 10, $15 all the way to like 125. So we're definitely going to, I think, in my opinion, we're going to see that. But right now we're seeing the markets crash a little bit, and I think this is the crash right before we go parabolic, because again, we're really running out of time when we talk about the year. We're already in August. There's only 4 or 5 months for the year to adjourn, right? So people that are saying, oh, another 8 to 12 months, I don't think that's the case, because that's what they were saying back in 2024. And we're going to be running out. So we'll see here soon. We'll see if this bull market picks up here towards the middle or end of August. All right, so let's take a look at the markets really quick. So BTC right now sitting at 113, right around 1.4, like that 113, close to 114. It says the S&P 500 is showing a slight pullback in broader market conditions. Now, I think they're talking about futures, because obviously for the stock market, it's not open on the weekend. Crypto trades 24/7, so that makes sense. But I think they're talking about futures. Okay, so what to look forward to for this week coming up? So it says earnings lineup brings key reports from Monday, August 4th through Thursday, August 7th that may shape sentiment. So for technology, we have companies like Palantir that looks like it's going to be reporting earnings, AMD, and then Uber. For the consumer sector, we have McDonald's and Walmart, Disney, and that's always important because we want to see, okay, are people spending money at these places that they typically go to, right? McDonald's, there's a McDonald's everywhere, and then Disney is kind of that main entertainment attraction where kids go, especially during well, right now school is back in session, but I would say, we're kind of still in the summer, all right? So we'll see if Disney is reporting, which I believe they will be reporting good earnings. I don't see why not. McDonald's, I feel like always does good. Okay, so the next sector is the pharma sector. So it says Nova Nordisk, Amgen, Pfizer, Eli Lilly, with earnings watchers focus on revised guidance for some drug makers. So it looks like we have some pharma going to be reporting as well. So it says, expect volatility around these reports as markets digest forward guidance, consumer trends, and AI investment signals. I'm more interested in that AI piece because I think AI is going to come back. I mean, it's already here, but I think it's going to pick up very strongly towards the end of 2025. Okay, so economic calendar highlights. So key U.S. data releases expected this week. So it says Tuesday, August 5th, June trade deficit figures. Wednesday, ISM services, which I did not know what that was, so I looked it up, and it looks like that is the Institute for Supply Management, a U.S.-based nonprofit professional organization that publishes influential economic reports each month. So I did not know that. Okay, so let's see. And then it says Thursday, August 7th, weekly jobless claims, scheduled post-labor report alongside consumer credit data. So it looks like we have those pieces of economic data that's coming out, so that's going to be very important as well. Fed officials, including Mary Daly, Raphael Bostic, and Albert Musalem, are expected to comment following last week's surprise votes for rate cuts. Yeah, so I was saying last week when they kept rates steady, it looked like there were some people in the Fed that wanted to cut rates, but Powell was like, I think Powell and then like a couple others were like, no, we want to keep rates the same. And I think he has the ultimate final decision. So, yeah. So, Fed officials, including Mary Daly, are expected to comment. So, it looks like they're going to be commenting on that this week. These releases may offer insight into trade trends, consumer resilience, inflation pressures, and future monetary policy moves. Okay, so the next thing here is global themes and trade dynamics. So tariffs impact and trade tensions remain central. Markets will pay attention to whether trade data shows a narrowing deficit or rising protectionist pressure. Durable goods and manufacturing orders will inform sentiment on domestic production and supply chain momentum. With limited physical stimulus abroad, China, UK, and Mexico, policymakers face inflation. Okay, then we talked about crypto, but it looks like regulatory sentiment has turned decisively. So yeah, it looks like the government, the administration had came out with a crypto report and was talking about their plans to expand the crypto space and move the sector forward and get like that mass adoption. I haven't taken a look at it, but it's really bullish, right? If the administration, the government is pushing forward to better crypto regulation and kind of get it towards that mass adoption. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, for the most part, if we look at prices, they obviously Bitcoin went from 117 to 113, so not ideal. But again, usually after these pullbacks, we get some type of rally, and I think that this one's going to be a real good rally, and I think it's going to be a continuous rally going into the end of the year, probably 3 to 4 months. Because again, once you start to see the trend change, and you'll start to see it once I think Ethereum breaks that. I think the highest is 4,800, 4,900. We're going to see that, and once we see that, that's when you start to see a lot of things move in the other direction. So yeah, but that's pretty much it. Let's start playing some chess. And I got my blitz score up, so I'm at 1190. Yesterday I was like at 1120, And again, because my rapid score is 1452, so I feel like I could get my blitz up, same thing. I just need to pay attention more, essentially. Okay, let's get started. Wow, that was a crazy checkmate that I did not see. That was good though. All right, cool. All right, let's see if we could cross 1200 here. Darn it. Oh, okay. Should be okay. think I got this. Not looking good for him. Not looking good. Perfect. 1200. 1200. I'm rated 1200. Let's. Oh. All right. Let me just do one more. Cause if I lose this one, I'll get below 1200, and I kind of want to keep this 1200 rating, but you gotta play, and I'm white, so I should be all right. Ruby Lopez. Hmm. Mm, I think so, buddy. If he takes that, you'll be in trouble. There we go. Oh my goodness. I don't know how I got hit with that. That was terrible. Stocks or real estate? Stocks. I would say stocks. I'm really not into real estate. But right now I'm mostly into crypto, so I would say crypto. Even though that wasn't an option. I don't know how I lost that. That's crazy. Especially with like double rooks. Real estate is just too hard to move, I think, and there's upside, you just gotta buy a lot of it. And it's just the barrier to entry it's not too bad, but I mean if you're trying to get into like single family homes, I mean you can't get a good decent house for like less than 400,000 these days. And even that's becoming like scarce. Oh man, I'm below. So hopefully I can get above 1200 again. All right, let's see. I think I can do this. Here. Here. don't know how I got checkmated like that. That's crazy. I feel like I have something here. Smooth this. Okay. Not financial advice. Even though I didn't say anything specific, but I feel like you had to say that. Okay. Okay. All right. I think I could do this. Yeah, he needs to take with that. Move in with my queen. I think I could take with this. I think I could take there. I'm running out of time. Free rook. Okay. Let's bring this in now. I think it'd be good like this. Oof, I think he lost his rook. Do you recommend? Did you go to college? I did. I went to the University of South Florida. I got a bachelor's in finance, a minor in economics. So do I recommend? It just depends on what you're trying to do, right? I wouldn't. For me, I don't really use my degree at my job, so I guess it just depends. Like if you're gonna be a doctor, yeah, you're gonna need it, but besides that, I'm not sure. Especially these days, it's hard to get a job. All right, I think I should be good here. I'm gonna fork him here on here. Can't take, so it looking pretty good for me. And then, boom, and my last game, nice. So I think what I could do here is just start eating these pawns up. And all right, I gotta start moving. Hopefully he resigns. Yes. Back over 1,200. That was my last game. Yeah, I did go to college. I actually do recommend, like, if you get a finance or accounting degree, I do recommend, like, those are good because I feel like a lot of companies need that. And you could do auditing, you could be an accountant, you could be a financial analyst, you could work in compliance. Right now, I work at a bank and I do compliance for second or first line. So you got first line, second line. So first line's like kind of like day-to-day operations. Second line is just oversees first line, and then third line is like audit, right? And I did audit for like 8 years. If you haven't seen my day in a life video, go check that out. I did a day in a life of an internal auditor. So that's actually my best performing video. But yeah, I think those degrees like finance, accounting, you can always find a job. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, Chat GPT or AI is going to take it over. And yeah, I think a lot of the stuff, it helps, but they're still going to need people to use the AI to do it and know what the AI is calculating, right? Because sometimes AI could be inaccurate. So yeah, I would stick, if you go to college, I would stick to finance, accounting. If it's not like being a doctor, right? If you're not going to be a doctor, if you're not going to be a lawyer, I would stick to finance and accounting and then maybe like engineering, right? I still think coding is going to be very needed. People are like, "Oh, well, AI can do it." No, you still like, if you know crypto, like if you're in a lot of these discords with the developers from these crypto projects, you still need people that know how to develop stuff, right? You can't just put it in AI or use AI to do everything. It's going to make the work a lot easier for people that know what they're doing, right? So maybe fewer people that know what they're doing and, less entry level stuff, right? You use AI to do all the grunt work, and then you have those people at the top that are making those high level decisions, right? Um, how much more general overlap is there between math and finance? I don't expect much. How much general overlap? Are you talking about a degree, like in college? I think for the most part, I think I took like calculus. It's not much. They are different classes, right? They're not the same thing. I think if you do, like, if your major's math, I think you're going to be like either a math teacher or maybe go into statistics, right? Like Bureau of Labor statistics, stuff like that, doing statistical analysis and stuff along those lines. But, from what I can remember, there wasn't much of an overlap. You had those basic courses. I did Algebra 2, Pre-Calc, Calc, and Statistics. I did Statistics 1, 2, and I'm not sure if I did 3. It's been a while. But it just depends on what you're trying to do, essentially. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The market is as for crypto, it looks like it's picking back up, right? We dropped from 117, 118 area to that 113. I think it's a much needed crash prior to the parabolic run, in my opinion. And I think we're going to see that here in August. I think we're going to see, like I said in the beginning, I think we're going to see people that were able to get at these good entry prices. You're not going to see it anymore. So if we look at something like, I'm going to take something that everybody knows. Um, let's take a AVAX, right? AVAX is sitting at 21.28. I think by the end of this month, we could probably see AVAX at $60. So again, like a 3x. It's still not at its all-time highs of 125, but if you were hesitant to buy AVAX at 22, and again, I'm not recommending AVAX, I'm just picking it because it's at the top of the crypto coin market cap list. It's it's sitting at 21, $22. So if you were hesitant to buy it at there, you're definitely not going to buy it at $60. So I think this is going to be the moment where whoever didn't get in is not going to get in, right? They're just you're going to have to wait for the next cycle. And you've had time to accumulate. We've been talking about, these things for these prices for all of 2024, all of 2025, the first 6 months. And if you haven't accumulated, if you haven't built your portfolio up, we're talking crypto, then I think August is probably going to be your last chance to participate in this altcoin season, in my opinion. Is data analysis a good choice? What do you mean? Like data analytics, as far as like a data analyst? I mean, you could do that again. I think you could do that with a finance or accounting degree. I think the like I said, finance and accounting, you could just do a range of stuff. What I figured out too, like all these jobs that I got, internal auditor, compliance, I didn't need a finance degree. So I kind of killed myself, taking those hard classes, didn't really learn much. Like, I think the most, like, future cash flow, like how to calculate, like, that was probably like one of the hardest classes, net present value, NPV. But I mean, besides that, I haven't even used that since college. But I could have got a basic business administration degree and gotten the same jobs, right? Doing less work. So I would say that too. Like if you're not gonna be like a CPA or CFA, or is it a CFA, Chief Financial? Yeah, I think CFA is the for a financial analyst, like a charter financial analyst. If you're not going to be any one of those, I wouldn't go into accounting or thing. Or if you're not going to be an accountant, I would just do a business administration because like those financial analyst positions, those data analyst positions, you can apply for those with a simple business degree. So I wouldn't kill yourself, doing college and taking the hardest courses. Honestly, towards the end of my college degree, I was relaxed, right? Because and I remember because once the semester starts, you can switch your classes like a month or two in. Like you could test it out for a little bit. And I didn't know this until like end of sophomore year. And sometimes I would pick a class I didn't like it. And I was like, oh man, I got to do all this writing and stuff. Then I was like, well, I could just switch to an elective, get the same credit because it's like an elective credit. And I'm over here killing myself doing, I think I picked like a history class or something like that. And then like the first day they were talking about the syllabus and all the writing I would have to do, literally dropped that class within, the first hour of going to it. And then I picked up like golf or something like that. So my thing is just to get the degree. You're not going to learn much, again, unless you're trying to specialize in something. So you're not going to really learn much from the degree. So whatever the minimal amount of work you can do to get the degree, the less money you have to spend, in my opinion, is the best route to go. Again, if you're not going to be a doctor, if you're not going to be a lawyer, it doesn't make sense to spend all this money to be a financial analyst, right? Or and I definitely wouldn't go to college for like communications or marketing. Because if you're going to do marketing, you might as well just build up an Instagram channel and just push out videos, right? Push out videos on whatever you like, whatever you're an expert in, and do your own marketing, right? Or build a YouTube channel and get subscribers. But I would definitely not go to college for communications, marketing, biology, unless again biology kind of fits into that medical space, because I know you could do biology and get into the medical field, but not just to do it, right? Just to pick a major. Some people don't know, right? Some people, and that's what I knew. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something with money. So that's why I was like, I'll just do finance. I know there's a bunch of options, and I'm just going to stick to that. Thanks for the info. I'm good at research. No problem. Welcome to the channel. But that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm going live tomorrow. I go live Wednesday and then Sunday. And yeah, but towards the end of the year, I will be putting out, because I told you guys I'm thinking about, or most likely I will be moving to Texas. Currently living in Florida. And I want to put out new content, but I think next year it's going to switch up. Like I'm going to be doing like actually bringing you along certain investments. I do like paper assets, so right, again, crypto or digital. But I want to maybe do like a mock portfolio, put out videos like that. I want to do stuff that you can actually take some stuff from. But that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.